Sorry. Yes. And I'll highlight you. Thank you very much. Let's start. I'll mute everybody. Hold this in a second. I'll mute everybody. Need to unmute yourself again. Bhanuji. Unmute yourself. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, on you.
Okay. Everybody can hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Everyone, and thank you, Sarvanji, for giving me this opportunity to give a bit of my life history and how I became to be doing yoga with yourself. Firstly, my name is Bahnu Mishra, and I'm from Gujarat, a place called Supakurel, which is north of Gujarat. I would say 400 kilometers from Mumbai. My parents are from India as well. My father was called Rambai. My mother was called Ambaben. My mother was from a place called Ambara, which is again in Gujarat. And they came to Dar es Salaam from India. And I was born in Dar es Salaam. And so were my sisters and brothers, except Thakobai Thakurji, as you can see, he's on line as well. And the youngest brother, they were both born in India. And Thakubai being the eldest brother, and we have eldest sister. So we have 5 sisters and 4 brothers. But sadly, we are only 4 now because we lost our number 3 sister in 2015. We were in India in 1959 or 1960, and we lived in India for 4 years in a basic village, in a basic house with a cow and buffalo. So the house we lived in was a cow shed, but it had a room as well. So the cows were next door and we were in the other room. And of course, we have a loft as well. So my father and my 2 brothers slept upstairs as well. And we did a lot of basic things in India, with all these basic cooking facilities, water facilities where you have to go to well and fetch the water, burn the wood. But before burning, you have to go and fetch the wood. And cut the wood and bring the whole pack on your forehead. So we did all these, and it was a good time we had in Africa, in India. While we were in India, my father had to return back from India because he was still in a job. And then my father was working for a company called Caltex. It was a British company. It's to do with petroleums. And my brother was also in India with us. And when my father fell down, he hurt his wrist. Thakubai had to come back. And I can't remember how old Thakubai was, but vaguely I would say 19, 20. This is my rough guess. Probably Thakubai can say the right age. And we were very young as well, 8, 9 years old. And then my youngest brother was born, while we were all in India. So we could not return back to Dar es Salaam.
Bhanuji, the Thakurbai here, he can tell us how old were you when you went in?
How old?
I think when my father hurt himself, I think I was about 15 years
very
old.
young, very young.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then he has to go back.
I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know that. That's why I thought I'd put that question to you.
True, because we were so young to even remember when Thakubai left for Dar es Salaam. And all vaguely I can remember is me, Mani, and my other sister Kamala, and then the 2 brothers at that time, younger than me, and the third one was born there. So I remember Mani saying to us that when we arrived in Dar es Salaam, brother was Takubai was so excited to see the youngest brother, because you hadn't seen him when he was born. So it was first time you were seeing him at the docks, because we traveled in a I would say it was a ship called Amara ship, where all the passengers were traveling to Mombasa and Dar es Salaam and other parts of Africa. And this was like a chartered ship. It wasn't a proper luxury ship. It was a chartered ship. So where, you have basic facilities. And when we were traveling to Dar es Salaam, I remember my second youngest brother, we were trying to go on the deck, and I don't know if you people remember, in the olden days, the ships had huge metal doors. So when the ship is swaying from one side to the other, the doors also slam if you don't hold it. And my younger brother was standing with his thumb on the actual framework, and we were on the other side trying to hold the door, but we were a bit late, so it closed on his thumb. So he's got double thumb. This is my younger brother. So that bit I remember in the ship journey. And then we got back to Dar es Salaam, and we settled with the relations, which we stayed in a communal place where we shared the bathrooms, the washing clothes areas. So we were like a family, like we are now a family. And we came across quite a few people, and we sort of became very close friends as relations, and then we started our schooling, which was the DA Girls School. That was, I think it was the only girls' school in those days. Lots of Indian teachers there, Punjabi teachers, Swahili, African teachers, Gujarati teachers. So we had the opportunity to learn English from them, and also learn Hindi as well, and Gujarati, which was a bonus for us, because on Saturdays, Sundays, they were teaching us Gujaratis and Hindis. And of course, Swahili was a 1 day or 2 day a week subject. So we were not very strong with our Swahili written language. We spoke very well because we lived with a lot of Africans in Dar es Salaam, and we made friends, we played with them, and they became, friends as well. And they were regular visitors, selling fruits and vegetables and ice creams and all sorts. So we used to buy things from them as well. And when we came to Dar es Salaam, we had a little bit of difficulty in having a full-time education, because as a big family, we had a bit of a struggle with the finances. And a father was working as well, but after his wrist injury, he had to step down. And then I think, Takubai, I don't remember, were you sent to school when you returned back from India? Because I can't remember that bit. I remember you going to work.
No, I think I continue work, and later on, when I finished my school, I started working with architects office, and I got trained and did some studies there as well. And whilst I was working, my boss, he said to me, "Why don't you send your father to England? You'll get plenty of jobs there, and will be settled in a better place rather than just staying here and difficulty in finding the job." So he helped me to send father. So I sent my father first to England, and then rest Bahnu
Yeah.
and all the sisters were studying in Dar es Salaam. So gradually I gathered some money and get some enough money to send, I think, 3 of you, Bahnu, Mani, and Diru.
Yeah. I remember you, you know, because the reason for us to come to UK was, as we were in the school learning all these languages, Swahili, Hindi, and Gujarati, and English, of course, they had a re-election in the parliament, in the African parliament, and change of ministers. So comes in a new education minister. His name was Babu, and he decided to change the school rules for better for the country. And there was a big community of Indians in Dar es Salaam, and majority of the businesses were run by Indians there. So there was a lot of economy coming in Dar es Salaam, benefiting from Indians having these businesses. So when this education minister changed the rule from better to worse, which was making Swahili language compulsory in the school, even though we spoke on a daily basis, we were fluent in speaking, but when it comes to written exams and language, it was not the same. So unfortunately, we all failed. And his one condition was that any passes of the Swahili language will have admission in any school in Tanzania. And any failures will have no choice, no admission in any school, but to leave the country. So that's where we came in. Unfortunately, we didn't pass the Swahili language. And I think that was a big worry for Takubai and my father. So being the eldest brother in the family, my father took his advice more because he was still in a young group. And of course, my mother as well, saying we've got so many children and we need the education to be continued. And that's when father and brother had a meeting, and they said, the only country we can go to is UK. The reason being, we were holding British passports. And we didn't know anything about other countries, about the education and all that. So I think UK was decided for us to come. But before coming, we have to find out what the country is like. So my brother decided that father would go first and see the lifestyle there, the education there, the conditions of the school and the facilities of the school. So then as we were a big family, we had to have it in groups to come to UK. So we came in groups. So father came, and then myself, and then Mari and my younger brother, we came as a 3 in a group. And we stayed in a rented place. And then we moved to another rented place for extra room and kitchen, of course, because rented room was a shared kitchen with another family. So then we moved to there. And then later on in the same year, we had my 4th sister and 2 younger brothers and mother came to UK. And then Takubai stayed back in Dar es Salaam, and he worked longer hours in his profession, which was, I think, a good money in those days, and being an architect. And he paid up some borrowed money as well, and accumulated enough money. He sold a few things from our apartment and gave it to my sister, the apartment, to stay there until they were ready to come to UK. And then Thakubai came to UK, and then we moved to another rented house with more rooms. Again, those days were a bit hard for us as well because winter was cold. We were from a very hot country. Father was working in cotton mill. In those days, we had lots of cotton mills. And of course, it's not good for your health. So father ended up having bronchitis from all the cotton dust. And it got so worse with the cold weather, and the house we lived in didn't have central heating. So we only had an oil heater between 6, 7 of us. So it wasn't warm enough. So father struggled a bit with his health. And then father had to step down. So that only left Thakubai to work as a main breadwinner in the house.
I think at that time, I think there was no thing like yoga, or there's no knowledge of yoga.
No,
Otherwise, I would have helped my father
yes.
on bronchitis or anything. So that was unfortunate thing, but it came very late in my life. You know, I didn't know anything about it because when he was ill, I had to take him to the doctor, and the doctor said that you have to go to hospital. And it could have been very simple treatment for him, but I think he went to hospital, he stayed there for a week, and the doctor promised me that he will be okay, his lungs are okay, and so he'll survive. So at that time he was 50, and he after the hospital, when I went to the hospital, he gave me the packet of cigarette, which he was smoking quite a lot, cigarette and the lighter, and he said, "Here is for you, keep it or destroy it. I'm not having cigarette anymore." So at the age of 50, he left cigarette, and he lived up to 83 or 84 before he passed away, unfortunately. But that's the life he has lived. And then family got together. Uh, all the sister got married. Bahnu also got married. And after the marriage, she lived her own life, which is she will continue from now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we at Thakubai, like he said, in those days we had no yoga knowledge. There was nobody in the family circle or from friend circle or the relation circle or even from the English community we were living around. Nobody could mention yoga to us where we could have done these exercises, what we are doing now, for our lungs and hearts and all sorts. So even the doctors didn't even suggest yoga because it was not in UK in those years. It was there in India, of course, but it was not well known in other countries. So that's where we lacked in yoga exercises in those days. And then father stepped down, brother was still working, and then we were finishing our school. And then after school finished, of course, we had to help Thakubai with all the electricity bills and the house mortgage and everything. So me and Moneyben, we started working during school holidays in factories, even though it was long journeys, early hours. Mother had to burn the wood to warm up the food and the water and everything. It was hard life, but I suppose everybody has gone through difficulties in their younger days and come up to a nice, happy life now. So we earned a little bit of money and helped Thakubai pay the mortgage and all that. And then we bought a house of our own, which we still have now, but of course it's empty. And then we moved there. And then after, I think it was let me just come back to my little notes here. Yeah, well, I think going back to my school days, we did only about 2-3 years of schooling, and we didn't go for more high level education, but I did my O levels, and then I did my night colleges for RSS level, which is the Royal Society of Arts. And my ambition was to become an air hostess, but in the school, I took up secretarial subjects, shorthand and typing. So then I changed my mind to become a secretary. So I learned more on the secretarial basis. And then we worked. And then while I was working, I took ill. And this caused a lot of anxiety, um, sadness, worries, and it led me to ulcer. Again, no one to teach us yoga, no one to tell us, you do this, you do that. And I suffered with ulcer, stomach ulcer, for 1 year. And it was so drastic that I came 64 stone. I couldn't even keep water in my stomach. It just wanted to come out. People started coming to see me. I'm gonna go, And then Thakurbai had a word with the doctor and said, you got to do something. She's 6 stone. I think it was God save that this doctor came, and I think he was Egyptian by Samarji.
No, it was Indian doctor called Dr. Rakit.
No. Dr. Rakit got a consultant, a surgeon. He was Dr. Samarji.
Samarji, yeah.
Yeah, Samarji. So he came to save me, and had it not been for him, I wouldn't be sitting here telling my story, or with the family. So he came to see me, and he diagnosed me at home, and he says, I want in hospital the very following day. So I was admitted to hospital, and I was tested with endoscopy. In those days, they didn't have cameras. Right nowadays, you can see yourself in the camera, what your stomach looks like, and the camera going down your the foot pipe. He did the endoscopy. He found little ulcer. So he said, I want to operate. When they were operating, it was bigger than what they saw in the x-rays. So I was operated with a big operation. I recovered nicely. Family looked after me well. And I think this was in 1972, I had my operation. And in that year, a year before, Thakurbai got married, and we had Bobby in the house, and we still have that Bobby with us. And I was well looked after with everyone, by everyone, of course. And then in 1976, this young man came in my life, and he proposed me. And of course, Thakurbai had to decide whether he's the right man for me or not. So I got married in 1976 in Ashton-under-Lyne, where Thakurbai and my younger brother is. And then we moved to Wembley, Middlesex, which is part of London. Sarvanji, do you know Wembley?
Yeah,
Everybody knows Wembley.
Wembley,
Yeah.
Everybody knows Wembley. So carry on.
Yeah, football, yes. So we moved to Wembley, and my husband had an apartment, so we stayed in an apartment, a rented place. And then within a year's time of our marriage, he was asked to go to Turkey by driving the company Volkswagen van. And some of the staff didn't want to do that because they didn't want to take chances going through the countries. But my husband was a traveler. Even as a young lad, he traveled through Europe. So he had experience of traveling. So he took up this challenge. So we drove to Turkey, through Belgium, Germany, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria. And in those days, Lufthansa airline was hijacked. and we thought we would have problems, but naively we drove. Luckily, we didn't have any obstacles in our way. And we reached Turkey. We were there for 1 year. Again, no yoga knowledge, and I experienced a couple in the village, because we lived in a village with all these different nationalities as expatriates working for the same company as my husband. And why I went to Turkey was because my husband's profession led me to go to Turkey and various other countries. And that's where I encountered a German lady who knew about yoga a lot through Germany, and she also knew that yoga is inherited from India. So me being Indian, I used to go and visit her on a daily basis. She asked me one day when her husband had a massive stroke, and she said, "Bahnu, you know yoga because you're from India, and I know Indian people have knowledge of yoga." And because I had never heard and all that, I sadly could not answer yes to her or help her, or give her any form of yoga pictures or exercises. And I said, "I'm so sorry, but I don't know yoga. And I wish I had known something about yoga from UK days, but unfortunately yoga was not so much common as it is now." And then we returned back to UK after 1 year. And again, there was nobody to teach me yoga or say anything about yoga. And then we were offered to go to Portugal. So we went there for 4 years. And in those 4 years, I was expecting my first son. And I had to come back to UK because holding British passport, in the long run, it will be better for a child to have a British passport as well. So I came back to UK, my delivery, and then I went back to Portugal for 4 years. In all these years, maybe I'm blessing the surgeon who operated me with this big operation, that I stayed well during these trips abroad, because especially in Turkey, the medical services are not that brilliant. So, I was quite okay there. Portugal, yes, I was fine. Again, they had very good medical services, so no problem there. And after 4 years, we came back to settle in UK. I bought a property, took up my driving lessons. I passed my driving test. And we were trying to settle, and then another offer came for my husband to go abroad, and this was a 10-year fixed contract, which was a big thinking to do about. So we decided, and of course our son was only 1.5 years old. So we took up this offer, and of course this offer was by his work colleague, a Sindhi manager who he worked with in Portugal. So he says, when I say 10 years, it's 10 years. I don't bluff. He was a very serious man. And it was for more than 10 years, but we did not stay for 10 years. While we were away in Qatar, this was a assignment in Qatar, which is, I don't know if people know, but it is a very small country next to Bahrain, Dubai, and Sharjah and all that. So we went there, selling everything. And again, it's a country where you cannot socialize the way we do in UK. So you take up certain interest in classes like patchwork, cross-stitching, sewing, and etc. And I also joined the club, but unfortunately there were nobody teaching yoga there. So again, I was not able to pick up any yoga exercises. And while we were there, the exciting things were like my son was admitted to British English speaking school. Because they had very basic schools there. So a limited admission in the school as well, only for British expats. So we admitted him there. And during those years, Princess Diana came, and children were put on the new apparatus, which was in the playground. And she approached my son, and he was only 6 years old. So he had no excitement who she was. He knew he was a princess, but he had no idea why she's a princess, why she come here. But the teacher liked my son so much that she put him right in the front, so she comes straight for him, which she did. And she asked him, "What's your name?" And when he said Jason, it took her back a bit because she thought he was an Arabic boy with an English name, you know. But the Jason is spelled with Jaison. And she asked him, "How old are you? How long you've been practicing on this and all that?" So it was a very brief visit to my son. And of course, she talked to other children. But he became famous on the Arabic TV news and newspapers and all sorts. So we had a good life there, but it was a false life, living in a country where everything is given on a plate for you by company. So we decided that before our child becomes too excited with this false excitements, you know, a driver picking him up, going to a party, having all these waiters and waitresses to come and help you in the parties because you can't socialize outside. You have to do socializing in the house. So you have your people.
That was the life when you're working outside. But
yeah,
when actually you came back here, when was the first opportunity for you to meet Baba Ramdev?
So when we came back, and then in 2012, I think, I took up yoga classes with Patanjali, yoga teacher. It was all the friend circles, and they said, "Bahnu, why don't you join yoga?" And I said, "Yes, I would love to, because in all these years, I've been meaning to learn more on yoga." So I started taking those yoga classes, and it was benefiting me.
Which class was it?
These were in Milton Keynes.
You know the name of the teacher? Just good to it's good to kind
Yeah.
of promote the person, kind of. If you can remember, don't matter.
Yeah, in our group we have forgot her name, Champa.
Champa, yeah, I know
Champa
Champa.
Ben, yeah. And the yoga teacher was Niyati Patel.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell, Sarvanji? Niyati Patel, young girl. So she started teaching yoga, and because she did her training as well, so she started her classes, and I took up her classes, and very effective classes I did, and it helped me a lot. I used to get tired quickly, and I started doing 50 jumping jacks, which is called the star jumps, yeah. We used to call jumping jacks, yeah. I used to do 50 star jumps, and it really energized me to do more and more. And they were once a week, which wasn't enough for me. So I was doing through the video, which I bought from India. When I went to India, I bought Sarvanji's, not Sarvanji, sorry, Ramdevji's video, because I saw it also on the Asta channels that he's doing this video. So I said, let me just watch this. And so I was practicing at home as well. And I felt really good. So when I went to India, I did not feel tired at all. and it sort of encouraged me to do more and learn more. So I did it with Niyati Patel and Champa Ben for 2 years, and then I had to stop those classes because my sister took ill. So for 3 months I stopped it. They were still encouraging me, saying, "Do come," you know, but I could not go back. There was something telling me, "You are not ready yet, Bahnu." So then I stopped for a year or two. The family was getting worried that she was doing yoga, she was happy, doing these exercises, she was active, she was doing everything, and suddenly she has come to a standstill. So they said, "You gotta do something." So they gave me another yoga classes, but with a different group, to try out a different yoga, and that is the Kundalini yoga. And Kundalini is a Punjabi name.
Yeah.
And Kundalini is a coil behind your back spinal cord. So when they're all sitting, you have to unwind it. So that's what's called Kundalini, is unwinding it.
Yeah.
And after taking those lessons, I got more better, my backaches and everything, but still they were there. And then I said, I need to do more, because they were a bit on that, because I was so used to doing Hatha yoga with Patanjali yoga, which was quite like a workout. And then, of course, relaxation. So this Kundalini was more of a breathing and pranayama and chakras and all that. So I was talking to Thakurji and Maniji, and also Takobai, when we used to go to his house, used to teach us all these Bhastika pranayama and breathing exercises, and trying to sit with your legs crossed and all that, and what benefits it gives you by doing this. Even 5 minutes a day, he says, try it. So I started doing that, and also my husband started doing that as well. And Maniji said, look, now it's time for you to watch Sarvanji, because he has got so much of knowledge of what you are doing and what benefit you're going to get for your body. Because she knows that I suffer with thyroid. And I was diagnosed with thyroid 3 years now. And I'm on levothyroxine medication, 50 mil, one a day. And doing yoga exercises with Sarvanji, I feel that I have improved a lot in my system. I used to get a lot of backache every morning on my right backside. And I did massaging, I did applying of the gel, the wicks, balm, and all sorts. I got a massager as well. It relieves, but then it comes back again. And taking up Sarvanji's lessons, I have improved in my sleep, and also with my dark circles, because my eyes used to feel very puffy. And I couldn't get up early. My backache was always there. I used to have a sciatica on my left leg. This was during 2013, I had sciatica. And then when I started doing the yoga, it relieved a little bit. And then eventually the sciatica went, because I was doing Patanjali yoga. And Champa Ben's husband, he noticed me once when I went to talk to him. He was sitting on the floor, and I went to talk to him, and I sat in a position, and he first said, Bahnu, you are sitting in a very correct position. And that was one leg like this and one leg like that. So you got a support on your front. So you don't squat yourself like this. So you balance your feet like this. And he said to me that you do certain exercises for sciatica and you will get better. And he promised me, and he was right. I did recover from my sciatica. And now I do every morning with Sarvanji, and I have benefited. And I'm saying my breathing has improved, and I've made an appointment with my GP to test my blood to see if my thyroid is there or it has improved, or is she going to reduce my medication. So on the 13th of July, sorry, we are in July. I have an appointment. So after that, I shall tell the results whether I'm still on medication or off. And I feel rejuvenated, more flexible, hardly any pain, I would say, in my back. And when I do get little bit, I would do these exercises, which we do every morning. And you probably have seen me do a bit of shin shrugs. I do like this because you're sitting and you're exercising your back. And then also doing a circle like this, like this. So you are rotating your back and you feel all that pain in your back, and it does relieve as well. So I still want to continue my yoga with Sarvanji, and also I am with another group providing yoga sessions online and also in studio. Now that restrictions are lifted a little bit safer. And this is Yin Yoga, which is a Chinese yoga, but I find that very slow. I am more for like a Hatha Yoga, like we do fast exercises, because I used to do workout of Jane Fonda as well in the early days. And I met Sarvanji, Sarvanji. I met Sarvanji now, yes, of course, yeah. Swamiji in 2014. And the opportunity I got was through Thakurbai. He also gave me a lot of knowledge on Patanjali, Swamiji, and benefits of all the products Swamiji has produced in these last few years. So we went to see Swamiji when he came in 2014 in Neasden Temple in near Wembley. And I found Swamiji very helpful, calm, listening to you. Any questions you have, he listened and he answered appropriately. There were lots of people who wanted to be closer to him when he came down the steps, but he made no fuss about everyone wanting to be having pictures taken with him and have a little blessing from him by touching his feet. And I had the opportunity as well to take a little chat with him as well, but didn't get much time to ask him more questions. But then I did take his permission if I can take a picture with him. And I'd like to share this picture with you all here. And this is in 2014. When Swamiji came to Neasden Temple, and he gave a sabha for all the yoga teachers. And I had the opportunity to see him.
That's nice.
And that was my dream come true, because I said he is such a famous person. He's so much, knowledgeable. He's giving all this gyan to everybody, and it would be nice to meet these famous people. And Thakurbai gave me this opportunity to go and meet up with him and experience what yoga is in reality. And I felt nice seeing him, and now I know him more as a yoga teacher, and all this health care he's doing for the nation around the world. And he has so many followers. So I would salute to Swamiji for introducing this yoga uh, to all young and old generations, and keep them healthy and well. So I would like to continue my yoga, Patanjali Yoga with Sarvanji, and I'm enjoying my morning sessions and also giving me the opportunity to show some of my capabilities. I'm still learning, and I am happy I am being corrected. I do not feel bad at all. And I like to be with people. So everyone on this yoga session are my friends and family. And to be with family and friends, it's a heal in yourself. It's a heal. So thank you all very much for having me on this yoga session, letting me learn these new techniques, and keeping me healthy. And I'm improving my health and would continue furthermore. So thank you all, everyone. Sarvanji, especially, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhanuji. That's excellent. Well done. Good to know about the mystery family.
Thank you.
Big family.
It is really a big family, yes. Yeah.
I see the struggle the whole family went through, and with a big, and also I think if you look back in hindsight, the education rule in what happened was good for you. It made you move back to UK, otherwise you'd have come probably,
I was just going to say that had it been not for this education minister, I said to Thakurbai this morning, we wouldn't be here meeting Swamiji or Sarvanji, and all these ladies.
Turn the negative into positive, very
absolutely important. Yeah. And also Thakurbai has been our mentor in the family and has kept the whole family in unity.
No, but I like the way Thakurbai took over control even young age to look after when father was ill. He kind of worked, and really hat off to him. He's like a like a father figure kind of idea.
He was a father to us. Yes, because
I had no other choice. I had no choice. I had to do it.
No, but still, you kind of took over the responsibility and delivered that. That's important.
Yeah. I think you have to keep your mind cool and.
And same time you did your education, you became an architect. That itself took a lot of study, a lot of time, effort. So so really hats off to you.
He still hasn't come over more responsibilities, because I meant to say in between as well that my father had 3 brothers, and my father being the youngest, from all the 4 brothers, my father was the only brother who had 4 boys. All the brothers of my father had daughters, everyone. So there are 16 sisters, cousin sisters and us, and Thakurbai and 3 brothers are the only 4 brothers. And just imagine Thakurbai being the eldest, he's got so much worries to do the what you call in the wedding, Mamaji comes and gives Mosaru. So
one thing I remember very well is that I had about 16 Rakis in my hands.
You can't keep up with it.
But that's it. That you're lucky. That doesn't happen to many people. So you should be very thankful to God. You have 16 sisters.
It's nice to be elders, but again, most responsibilities.
But he took his responsibility very, very seriously. I can see that. Well done to him. Really, really nice to hear your story, Bhanuji. And if anybody wants to ask any question, You're welcome. You just a couple of minutes if you want to say something. Anybody?
Banuji, what day did you take the photos with the Baba Ramdevji in Eastern Temple?
What year?
Yeah.
2014.
Okay.
I was there as well. I was there as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Swamiji, because I've always, Swamiji will travel with me and Sunita. We kind of organize everything for him, you know. He stayed with us in Glasgow and we travel with him, organizes on the entry and all the things. Because Swaminarayan Temple, they come to my house. They came twice. They have a meeting for whole youth, whole worldwide. They come to the house and they do a meeting where there's no ladies allowed. So my wife, so I look after them, and then went to the Peace Island as well.
Yeah. I just want to say quickly about Sheetalji's little biography. I heard on the YouTube, very fantastic biography.
Yes.
Very sad journey you went through, but you tackled it in a very positive,
professional way. Yeah.
Professional way and positive way, and you have achieved your goal, what you wanted to reach. And it's very interesting to know that yoga has really improved your health, and very interesting background of yours, Sheetalji. Very impressed.
Also making a difference to other people now as well.
Yes,
it's a big thing, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. So we wish you continue to keep well, and then one day you'll be a yoga teacher like Sarvanji. You are a yoga teacher now, but yes, you will be there. So
I'll become the chela. I'll become the chela. He'll become the guru.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he can relieve you. Yeah. And Sarvanji, one thing I want to ask you, that I know we are in a COVID-19, but are we arranging any trips to Cumbria in the near future?
Yes, something is happening there just now. They're working on it. But again, I don't want to say something, but I think they might be making that into wellness center as well. I don't know. It's up to Swamiji what he wants done. So they're actually having 2 people going and staying there now as well, permanently.
Yeah, that'll be
good.
Because,
and grow all the food and vegetable. You know, try to do everything like that, like make a naturopathy center with all the food grown in the island as much as possible. So you're getting everything, natural, no chemical kind of idea.
Yeah. That would be interesting, yeah. Because
the thing is, everything takes time. So I think it probably will now. Island might open probably from next year now, but more likely, because nobody's been there for a year and a half, so it's quite a lot of damage, probably a lot of maintenance, a lot of building work. And things need to be done. So but again, we'll let you know when it happens automatically.
Yes, yeah. So because we have some English people wanting to come to Cumbria. They are the yoga people as well.
Good.
Who are running sessions in Milton Keynes. So they are.
Because sometimes last year and a half, what I do, I go through all my photograph I took and the group and look at all the photos, and gives me such a pleasure. I miss the island so much, because that was whenever I go to the island, I felt like going to heaven. It's like so peaceful, I thoroughly enjoy it. And that's why I love all my friend, family to go there, because it's like my dream always is to people when come to UK for holiday, they come to Peace Island as a part of a trip organized with the holiday maker and things like that, that's the way it should be.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like Indian flag outside India. So you see Indian flag and the Scottish flag flying together. That itself gives you makes you sense of kind of belonging. That yes, we're still part India. We are in UK, but we have an Indian flag flying. So we still have an Indian culture. A lot of Indian people are here in UK.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yes.
Can I ask one question, please?
Sure.
Bhanuji, I wanted to know what exercises you were doing to get rid of sciatica. Would you be able to share it with us?
I think it's the one which we do as well. I think I can't remember which one it was, but definitely that sitting posture, he said that is good for your sciatica as well. So, but I think maybe, sitting down and doing your leg like this.
No, that's what they're talking, crossing your leg like this and come across,
Sorry, I can't see you.
Yeah.
Can you highlight?
straighten your leg, and then you put your leg here, and then you put your arm at the back, like this. So say like I'm crossing my leg. I don't know if you can see.
Can't see. Yeah.
Like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is known as Vakarasana.
Like this.
Shalabhasana is another one.
Yeah, and then you go back like this. Yeah.
Final twist.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Also the butterfly is good, and also
Yeah.
Kapalbhati in this mudra, Merudan mudra. This
Yeah.
and this will fix your spine as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Oh.
that's
I
obviously
think
that time they didn't know mudra much. They didn't do mudra 20 years ago. So I'm trying to bring more mudra into the more on the focus on people. I'm focusing more on mudra.
I'm feeling a lot better, but I just want to get rid of it completely.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
But one thing is, once you make the tailbone and the bottom L1, L2, L3, L4, 5 muscle and make the muscle stronger, that will
Yeah.
support your back muscle and sciatica pain will go away.
Okay.
Because I play
And
golf, I have a
also-
slip disc. I have a slip disc. Just doing those exercise, my slip disc comes for sometime once in a blue moon. If I lift something heavy, then I will do those exercises and go away again. So I know it
Okay.
works.
Yeah, because I've got tailbone problem and
Yeah, that's what
sciatica.
just now I said to you, I'm doing a one young boy, 12 years old. He's got tailbone problem. So I'm doing for the last 20 days, half an hour yoga with him every day, 1-to-1, to stretch his tailbone, to make sure that his posture is pain. So he needs to sit in a bit of cushion with a hole in the middle. So when he's sitting in the house in the computer working on the studying, he's not sitting any pressure on the tailbone. So you buy a cushion with a hole in the middle. So you don't put any pressure on the
Alright.
tailbone. So that gives the kind of either side of muscle
Yeah.
on the cushion, so you don't get the pressure, so your back pain goes away.
I think a cushion also, you have a neck ring for your neck support.
Yeah, but for the
with
neck
the-
thing, neck support.
Yeah,
yes.
so you
when you go for
have to
airplane,
use that.
when you buy for the airplane, you can sit there. I
Yeah.
do that.
So you
when
get a
I'm-
ring as well.
What happens is, when I'm watching TV, I fall asleep. So when I fall asleep, my neck goes like it's dangling. So it gets very sore. So
Yeah.
so my daughter bought me the rings. I put the ring on, and then I fall asleep. I just
Yeah.
feel like that, and I'm okay.
I've got a round one from TK Maxx, and I sat on it one day, and it's so comfortable. It's only a small one like this. You can't put it around your neck, so I use it as a cushion, and it's got these beads
Yeah,
inside,
Ah,
and it's
Yeah,
really
that's,
comfy to sit. Like you were saying about the backbone,
that's it. That's what it's for.
So use one of those as well. And I
You
think
can
in
use that
TK
as well,
Maxx,
but that's got the same thing, a ring right around the whole in the
Yeah.
middle. So that will do
Yeah.
the same thing as well.
Yeah.
absolutely, it's so comfortable. Yes.
That's
So
the
use
one
that.
Kantaben is showing.
I can't tell, let me see.
That's is showing the ring.
Shakuntala Ben or Kantaben?
Kantaben, I think.
There,
There.
that's it. Kantaban, I can see it.
I got it as well.
I can't see Kantaben.
Kantaban seems to have everything.
Oh yes, that's the one. Yes.
Got it from
Kantaban seems to have a laddu, pira, and a sponge with a hole as well.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, but mine is
It's good, but I put
Yeah,
the cover on it.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's good for your sciatica pain as well. Sitting on that.
Yeah.
One more thing is important to get rid of the tension, because tension is also play a big part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, very true, Sheetal. Very true, because you are tensed.
Yeah.
When you have worries and you go stress level and everything, your body is
I think-
tensed.
I can see Dr. Sudarshan ji having a laugh listening to all this conversation. He's saying,
Oh, we have doctor online as well.
Yeah, doctors. Yeah, Dr. Sudarshan Kapoor.
So we have
but
to.
only problem is Dr. Sudarshan good is not good for me. This is more for the female health, not for male health. But they have knowledge anyway.
So yeah, I think I think yoga will be the best cure for everyone, and to come off medications gradually. So
No, but you need medicine, you need doctors. It's the last resort. The problem is, as a first resort, you need to take care of your own health.
Yeah.
That's
We
important.
need doctor in any way. Without doctor we can't do, and without yoga
all
we
my
also
nephews,
can't do.
all my nephews are doctors, otherwise they all lose their job. I can't have that.
no, we can come up the medications, but doctors are needed for other things as well. So medications, yes, I think the companies are benefiting by all these medicines being produced. But again, doctors are there to advise us, on the doses and
No, even yesterday, Dr. Sadhuran Kapoor talked about she had certain autoimmune disease. She managed to come out of it. And so you can see it. She believes in it, and she's a believer, you know, and her story was so exciting to hear
Yes.
her side as well, you know. So that's why I think this Saturday evening night talk for half an hour for different people is quite a good thing to get to know each other a bit better, you know, I try to find out all the different journey we've been through. We've all been through certain journey. Everybody came here with a struggle. We all have the same kind of thing, but thing is, we all want to know how did you manage, if you had any symptoms, anything, how did you manage to ultimately manage it through medical help and also through yoga and through self-discipline, lifestyle changes and things like that. So we can learn from each other and try to believe in it and use that to help to fix themselves of joint pain, arthritis, even cancer. Very important.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Shraddha, you want to say something? You seem
Yes,
to...
I want to say something with due respect.
Okay, no
That
problem.
I don't know because I can't join your morning session because of my own programs going on the Zoom. I don't know how much you have covered for this autoimmune diseases and this our Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, then our Chandra Vedi, Surya Vedi, because we had one session where we were more confused. So I was thinking that maybe one day we should cover that part. Doesn't take too long. Maybe within 15 minutes we can do very easily.
No, but
Nadi
sometimes...
Shodhan, Chandra Vedi, Surya Vedi, that will be great help because it's not enough in the sessions to cover all this in detail. And when we do that, we have to check each other whether they are doing right or not.
Because you have to help
We
you
can
this blood.
spotlight and make sure we are doing this properly.
Because one of them can help you with low blood pressure, one can help you with high blood pressure as well. It's like overall health as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, Chandra Vedi and Surya Vedi.
Yeah, that's it.
And plus, I think this is very, very important because in that session, I think some of my friends, they got confused completely, which I felt that we should cover that bit when we have more time.
You can do that one evening sometime as well, you know, simple.
Yeah, you can do in the morning or the evening. Only morning I can come on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have got my own sessions.
Monday,
The devotional programs or sessions are going on.
Maybe next
Monday is the day I am free.
Okay, no problem. We'll
Please do that on Monday.
Yeah, I'll love to. Thank you very much, Doctor. Sir. And thank
Otherwise,
you very much.
Bahnu, I'm very pleased you admire the doctors. You admire the doctors.
Without doctor we can't move. I think without yoga teacher we can do
Bhanu ji ka surgery भी तो doctor ने किया था.
Doctor ने किया ना.
That's why she said twice.
I know.
I am here because of that doctor.
Yes.
So we are
That's
grateful what they are doing.
Yeah.
We are grateful.
Absolutely, I'm very grateful to him. And then when I met my own GP here in Milton Keynes, he was Dr. Murthy. And he asked me, have you any allergies? So I was saying yes. And then he read the notes and he said, oh, you had also operation? I said, yes. When was that? And I said, yeah. And who was the doctor? So I told him the name. And he says, really? I said, yes. He says, he was my medical colleague. Yeah, in Manchester, they studied together. So I said, oh, that's great to know that you are his college colleague and, medical college, medical.
So Dr. Murthy must be from South India as well, probably.
Yes, he was from South India, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's retired now.
Okay.
And then I said to him, oh, since you know him, I'd like to write a letter to him after all these years to say that you saved my life and I'm still alive. And I want to send in his letter. And he says, sorry, Banuji, but he's no more. And that really broke my heart. It broke my heart that I wanted to thank him for keeping me alive. And I still say to people, I said, had it not been for him, I wouldn't be here.
That's
And,
nice to say that. That's, I'm sure wherever he is, he's listening to your talk and he's quite happy with that.
Yeah, I hope he's listening there. Yeah.
Yes,
And when he said to me, he's no more. And I said, I left it too late. Had I known from this, my own GP, that he is, his friend. But again, right. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. G, for listening to our, stories and our medical background. And sorry if I went against the GPs, it wasn't meant to be.
It didn't.
But yes, I think when I hear people on 12, 15
Bahnuji, I thought you were
medications-
saying you can't last more than 15 minutes. You lasted over an hour.
I got so much to say.
Initially, he said to me this morning, I was struggling for 15 minutes. Then I said, that's great. So I'll do the 90 go steady exercise again.
Yeah, but in between, Thakurji also had to, say a few things as well. But then again, yes, there are a few things, but I couldn't finish it off. So that's fine.
No.
Okay, because,
Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening, rest of the night, and see you in the morning for your class.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
take care.
everyone.
Yes, thank you, Bahnuji.
Goodbye.
Again.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.